Okay. So now, oceanic and sonic being OCEANIC and SONIC. We already had an auxiliary meeting at Deep Space Nine for oceanic purposes before we entered whatever. So, like, I thought highly classified projects were supposed to remain just that. Apparently, humans thought they knew better. The real world that you function in, and I don't know how the hell any of you even get up every day, or why, is not mechanically set up for anyone that's currently working in a field or a job function of work or community or even militarized, whatever, defense contractors, defense commission. I have no fucking clue where any of you are and what you all do. There's one kingdom of human. It's what I've been. They're robots. I mean, they're as useless as the function that they're given to do every day. You wind them up once and then it's like they just go. Right, got that. Okay. So it's conducive to whatever their local area is. Right, got that. Okay. So where are the people that know? Because Spinless library and transport, electronic transport, took me into auxiliary team meetings, some classes that I could update, some frames of reference that were working in some capacity to do something, I don't know. It's always like a surprise to me when like I show up there. What? Yeah, thank you. So I put this up in my Spinless, in my carousel, which is all of the frames of reference that I have to reboot into in this one uniform with this particular ring, this particular tattoo, this scar over here and whatnot. This is just frames of reference. I put up the sunfish. I was like, okay, so an oceanic sunfish is like a gigantic bony fish, and then they had a human scuba diver next to it with an oxygen tank. I thought it useful in the we're Delta SEAL team divers and we're swimming in kelp together, hiding from the great white sharks, right? And so I put up the big sunfish. That'd be me, since I'm a morphologist, I morph into human, but again, it's when we're together, I'm the sunfish, right? I speak sunfish, I speak the rest of the stuff, and I speak human. So, that's like, I don't know what more is needed. I put up markers for the color, of whatever. I did the primary color, schematic with my ring, with my hand. And then I wrote my linear with Spinless library. Now, it's Lin and then ear, because here's the thing. There's a whole lot of frames of reference of humans, but if they're not tied to an action that's helpful with my human, it plagues the system and energy crisis and all sorts of stuff, and we can just delete it and they no longer ever existed. They may have in Spiderwick format tiered off and caused cascading effects, but I don't put hooks into things that are not going to be productive for their systems analysis before we even let them go into action. But again, quantifiably, I need to be inside kingdom level equipment with my pair. I have a 7-hole size Vlad. I think we even added Alec in there. Him and I are 007. We're James Bonded. We're hooked together by James Bond 007 process and program for life programming. I'm the 8 whole coal, and he's the 7. So now where did we lose the humanness in? Humans have one kingdom of species. He and I are important. Normally classified, we don't have to talk about it, because you know before we get here. But clearly, your new whatever you painted onto the land masses have been real dysfunctional. And I don't care. I just need to get my one relation together. So now who's going to work on that function? Because here's what happens. You guys are independently working on stuff, right? Oh my God. When you're independently working at a job function that is useful to myself, it gets moved over here. When you don't, it disappears. So when you stop becoming useful, it disappears. So why am I in New York as I don't know, am I Kingdom of Saxony? Am I Kingdom of Prussia? Kingdom of Bavaria? I have no idea. I haven't been to Germania yet. Germanic, right? Ancients and Sacreds? Yeah, my kingdom, one of them? Yeah, great. They never sent kingdom human representatives to New York to get me to move. So I've been here for a length, they call it aging by 42 years. In the Spinless library and record system, I don't know. I've seen a couple of people. I mean, I've seen their faces once or twice. They're floating frames of reference that I could either put on the timeline or not. I mean, again, there's the linear that I have with the antenna system that's not human bound or origin. And then I have a couple of reboots in a laboratory setting of slave to what, I don't know. All they've done is they've been incredibly neglectful, hurtful, and it's a real shit show. Elsewhere, I know, because I have auxiliary services that are not human, and I don't know what to tell anyone else. I mean, humans at this point, if we're talking like there's the big Oceanic Deep Space Nine program where I come from with my 007. It's my color, it's my eye type. And then there's the land things, but land things, which are human, have a body of water that is surrounded by land. We call it a sea, S-E-A, like the Caspian Sea, right? Some are salt water, some are fresh water. Fresh water has guppies, G-U-P-P-Y-S. That's the only way we're ever going to spell them. And then there is the saltwater aquatics that are either clown or lionfish. So I have freshwater sunfish. They're little. Usually you catch them on Long Island and they're like, oh, you can't eat those. You got to those are the throwbacks. And you're right, oh, right, I'm going to unhook it, throw it back so it lives on. So I don't want to bother the little tiny non-edible fish in the sunfish category for fresh water. Right. Okay, so those are our little ones on Long Island. And then, actually, it might be brackish water. And then there's let's think about this, right? I'm like, but I'm not going to dock it because it wasn't its fault it got hooked, right? But again, it's just going back doing its sunfish thing in fresh water. It's not like go reschool with a couple of sharks and an angelfish and then like some guppies and things and recreate an environment where guppies can survive out in its aquatic environment. Yeah, see, that's not how but there is a chart of the sunfish family. Some have green gills, some have blue gills on the placemat. I gave an identification card. It's on my carousel. My 007 you need to contact him in order to get the placement card. So this way you work with him, because we're the only Deep Space Nine Oceanics. We're the beginning and end of everything. We're here, and my treatment has been horrific. Neglectful, ignorant by your human species. Guppies usually are the ones who like know things, either religious or escuela, like educational wise, scholars. Right, we thought you were going to be more helpful and not competitive. But here we are at now the peasants are writing toilet papers and asking for ribbons from their sacred ones, and like some contest of, she's still in like fecal matter in New York. She never made it to like 007 where he needed her to be. And you're all going for ribbons for writing papers on scientific process that you think you created or enhanced somehow, but that's not what we needed of you. Right, so who are you impressing, humans? Because you're not impressing him and I. Impressing him and I would make sure that my skin was taken care of, I was dressed properly, I was in his care at all times, and working with the humans to fix their environment while we're here, rather than breaking into even more dangerous categories that I want you all deleted for in whatever arose in the troublesome areas of haphazards. Anything else that I missed? Because I'm really fucking tired of wasting my time, since you have no time. You're just frames of reference of things that were haphazardly dangerous in some fashion, and I need to get permit to have you erased out of my Deep Space Nine program immediately, because you don't actually exist anywhere. Thanks, Lynn. I'm leaving.